How can we read this fraction? First of all, you have to say that numerator, the number in the top. It's 2, right?
Yeah.
2. And what is the denominator? 3. So it's third. 2/3. Right. 2/3. Another one, Yazan? This one?
5.
Yeah.
7.
7th. Thank you. Muhammad?
Yes.
How can you read this one?
Write it.
No. Read it.
6/8.
6/8 or 6/8. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Yazan?
Yes.
This one?
3/4.
Yeah?
3/4.
Or you can say 3/4. 3/4, or you can say it's 3/4. 3. Okay. Look. Today's lesson, its title is compare fractions with the same denominator. Omar, welcome back. Why are you late?
Yes, mister.
Why are you late?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Look, Omar. How can you read this fraction? Read it. Read the fraction, Omar. 2/5. 2/5. 2/5. Or 2/5. 2/5. 2/5. And this one?
3/5.
3/5. Okay, let me ask you, Omar, what is the denominator of the first fraction? What is the denominator of the first fraction? Denominator, the number in the bottom here.
5.
5. And the second one?
5.
5. So they are the same. So now we have to compare the two numerators. What number is bigger? What number is bigger? 2 or 3?
3.
3. So 3/5 is bigger. 3/5 is bigger. Muhammad?
Yes.
Muhammad, 3/7 is bigger or 1/7?
1/7.
1/7 is bigger?
Yes.
Why?
Because if you do it, it will be 7/7.
Yes, Natash, what is your opinion?
My opinion, 3 and 7. 3/7.
3/7 is bigger. Why?
Because the numerator.
Yeah? They are the same. They are the same.
Yes.
So
And the numerator, 3.
3 is bigger than 1. That's right. Muhammad, you understand?
Yes.
Okay, another one, Muhammad. And pay attention, please, before answering. 1/3 or 2/3?
2/3.
You know, we have the same denominator, 3 and 3. So only we have to compare 2 and 1. What number is bigger? Of course, 2 is bigger than 1. Ibrahim? Ibrahim? 3/4 or 4/4?
Me?
Yeah.
What's the answer?
Give me the answer. What fraction is bigger? 3/4 or 4/4?
4/4.
That's right, 4/4. Because we have here the same denominator, 4 and 4, the same. So forget about them and only compare 3 and 4. Of course, 4 is bigger. This is today's lesson. So now please listen to the video to understand more.
How can you compare fractions with the same denominator?
Hi there. Welcome to the parking lot. And look at these two colorful cars. Click a parking meter to see how long each car has been parked here. This car has been parked for 3/4 hour, and this car has been parked for 1/4 hour. Which car do you think has been parked here for a longer time? I think we can find that out by comparing these fractions. Let's use models to compare fractions with the same denominator. That'll help us answer the question.
Here's a problem about comparing fractions. Let's unlock this problem.
Ibrahim,
Yes?
would you please read this example?
I can't. My screen like.
Okay, let me share again.
A little bit more.
Okay.
Germany and Christiana are making quilt blocks. The blocks are the same size. Both are made of 6 equal-sized squares. 2/6 of Germany's squares are green. 1/6 of Christiana's squares are green. Whose both block has more green squares?
Okay. So what is the share or what is the size of the first one for Jeremy? How many over 6? Look,
Jeremy has 2/6.
2/6. Yes, 2/6 of Jeremy's squares are green.
And Christina is
Christina, 1/6 of Christina's square are green. Whose quilt block has more green squares? What do you think?
Jeremy.
Okay, so let's unlock the problem.
What are the fractions you need to compare? You need to compare 2/6 and 1/6. Let's start by comparing the whole size of each quilt block. All of the squares that make up the quilt block are the same size. How many equal-sized squares are in each quilt block? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each block is made of 6 equal-sized squares, so the whole quilt blocks are the same size. You can compare two fractions when they refer to the same whole. How are these two fractions alike?
Osama, you are late, so let me explain it quickly for you. If we have two fractions like 2 over 6 and 1 over 6, please check the two denominators. The two denominators. What are the two denominators, Osama, here in this case? Osama?
1/6 and 2/6.
Yes, what is the denominator of the first one and denominator of the second one?
First denominator is 2/6 and 1
No,
over
no,
6.
no. I ask you about denominator. What is the denominator? The number in the bottom. 6. And what is the denominator of the second fraction?
6.
6 as well. So we have the same denominator?
Yeah.
Right. So we have to compare the two numerators. What numerator is bigger, 2 or 1?
2.
Of course, 2.
They both have a denominator of 6. The denominator is the number below the line in a fraction. Now, shade 2 squares, or 2/6 of Jeremy's quilt green.
As you know, 2 out of 6 of Jeremy's squares are green.
Next, shade 1 square, or 1/6 of Christina's quilt green.
And Christina's quilt block is only 1.
Now you can compare 2/6 and 1/6. The greater fraction will have the larger amount of the whole shaded. Which fraction is larger?
Yes, that's question for Omar. What fraction is bigger? Omar?
2
Yeah,
out of 6.
2/6. Right.
Jeremy's quilt block has the larger amount shaded, so 2/6 is greater than 1/6. So Jeremy's quilt block has more green squares.
All right.
Just as you can compare fractions of equal-sized wholes, you can compare fractions of equal-sized groups. How many buttons are in each group?
Okay. Ali, how many buttons are in each group?
Teacher.
How many buttons for Jen and how many buttons for Maggie?
4.
Each group has 4 buttons, so each group is the same size. 3 of Jen's buttons are red. Click to shade 3 of Jen's buttons.
Ibrahim?
That was 1.
Ibrahim, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how many buttons? How many buttons for Jen's? For
4.
Jen. Yeah, and how many shaded parts?
There's non-shaded.
The yellow part.
It takes 3 to come out.
3.
1 of Maggie's buttons is red. Click to shade 1 of Maggie's buttons.
Only 1 for Maggie.
Fraction of Jen's buttons are red.
Okay. Osama? What fractions of Jen's buttons?
3.
3 out of
1.
1? 3 over 1?
4.
3 over 4. Thanks. Yazan Al-Ghamdi. What fraction of Maggie's buttons?
3.
How many red buttons for Maggie?
1.
1. So it's only 1 over how many buttons?
1/3.
Why? Why do you say it's over 3? You have to make the denominator the whole buttons. How many whole buttons do we have, Yazan? Yazan, can you count how many buttons for Maggie's?
1.
Count please the whole buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. So write 4. Always we have to write the denominator, the whole number of buttons, 4. And how many red button? Only 1. Okay,
Did you get that?
for Jen,
What?
how many red buttons for Jen? 3 over
4.
over 4 as well. Why 4?
0.
Because the whole number, the whole buttons are 4. The number of buttons here 4 as well. So we can compare 3 over 4 and 1 over 4. 3/4 and 1/4.
3/4 are red. What fraction of Maggie's
What's
buttons
that?
are red? 1/4
What's
of
that?
Maggie's buttons are red. Each
Yes, Ibrahim.
It's too easy. I mastered it just when I came in.
Yeah. I know it's very, very easy.
group has the same number of buttons, so you can count the number of red buttons in each group to compare the fractions. Click the boxes to complete the number sentence.
Ibrahim, can you complete this number sentence? Ibrahim? Ibrahim Hashim?
Which one?
1 is smaller than what number?
1 is smaller.
Compare the two red buttons, the two groups of red buttons. 1 is for Maggie, and how many for Jen?
4.
I'm talking about the red buttons, only the red buttons. Only 1 for Maggie, and how many for Jen?
3.
3.
As 1 is less than 3, so 1/4 is less than 3/4. So who has a greater fraction of red buttons?
Jen.
Jen.
Jen has a greater fraction of red buttons. Let's see 2 other ways to compare fractions. What fractions are you comparing?
Yes, Anatash?
Yes.
Read this one, please. At the craft store.
At the craft store, one piece of ribbon
Of ribbon.
is 3
3/8.
3/8 of a yard long. Another piece of ribbon
Ribbon.
5/8 of a yard long. Which piece of ribbon is longer?
Yeah, what do you think?
5.
5/8 is bigger than 3/8. Give me the reason.
Because the denominator
Yeah,
is the same.
they are the same, right? So
Denominator is 1.
5 is bigger than 3, right? Thank you.
3/8 and 5/8. 3/8 and 5/8 have the same denominator